1, 2, 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3, here we go.
As Pablo Picasso once said, true art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. It is a lie in which we find truth. I think he would definitely approve of Boba Fett nut blasting a magic blow-up doll with magic powers.
Cruising on Cespa in my DeLorean. War's over, I'm a piece of Mandalorian. The story is Stomp Star Wars historians. Deep in debate, but they play at Bennigan's.
Now, spoiler alert, that is Saints Row 4. It is great, tickled my fancy in 1,000 different ways. Pure fun, absolutely worth your money. I want to talk a little bit about other reviewers. With a game like Saints Row 4, you may have already noticed there are a billion reviewers that need to preface, whatever they enjoyed about the game by saying it's stupid juvenile fun. When talking about something like video games, the older reviewers among us, they often have the need to venerate the medium. They try and say it's complex and deep, using terms like ludonarrative dissonance, and maybe popping in delineation as many times as they can. Basically using any tools in their tool chest to convince the masses playing this game won't be a waste of your time. It won't be something you should be embarrassed about if you're over 20. Well, I say nay, Saints Row 4 is not only functional and enriching experience, but it should even make the most pretentious of the bearded gamers cream with intellectual splooge. Now, just a brief background in the game. You're the leader of the Saints, same guys you've always been in this series. After some genius instances of parody, you are thrust into the presidency and your gang becomes your cabinet. From there, aliens attack, you're transported into a virtual reality vis-a-vis the Matrix and need to break out, very much like that film. It's at this point, though, the game really begins to take off. I started playing Saints Row 4 as you would any open-world game, exploring the vast map, checking out what weapons were available, and of course, causing a little bit of havoc. After a few instances of that, a few great minutes of that, you begin to notice those small idiosyncrasies, literal glitches in the system. Things like streets packed with men and women in bondage gear with rifles, flying cat men that will beat you up, and perhaps the most surprising, getting shot in the face by a blow-up doll. Now, these instances, although at first are novel, they become a sort of culture of the game. You can progressively leap over buildings, which of course then leads to super speed, which leads to a version of flight, which somehow leads to battling aliens in an American Super Eagle jet. The progression is perfect. Each new power opens up a new collectible option and more difficult baddies. All of this, of course, needs to be reinforced by genius-level parody, not only making fun of the games, but gamers themselves, since essentially you're playing a character who is then playing a game in order to save mankind. Now, because of this, Saints Row 4 does, unfortunately, sometimes fall victim to, bad design choices or dialogue that may be intended to be parody. I don't know. That's always the question. If a game is trying to make fun of itself and it's using bad dialogue choices to do that and bad design choices to do that, is that still funny? Now, there isn't an intense overuse of this, though. They're very few and far between. It won't hurt the overall experience.
Like I'd lose that.
Before you even open the box of Saints Row 4, you gotta know it's gonna be outrageous and fun. Traveling in this open world reminds me of the glory days of those original Spider-Mans. I'm talking 2004, 2006. It feels alive, different, and more similar to Monty Python meets The Matrix than even John Cleese could think of. Now, as for the gripes, some of the activities can be a little bit tiresome 13 to 15 hours in. Even though your skills progress, many of the open world games remain the same. They just up the difficulty by shortening the time for completion or just asking you to kill more baddies. But once that does happen, once you are bored, kill something by flying around the map with aliens in hot pursuit. Use a black hole gun on a gaggle of strippers. Try and collect the over 1,000 collectibles, or just go to your spaceship and helplessly flirt again and again with Keith David.
I think that would just be weird, don't you?
Saints Row 4 is a game that consistently surprises and makes you laugh. It's a level of satire that directly gives the finger to perhaps the more subdued but still brilliant parody of the GTA series. Characters make fun of the fact that you're even playing a game, yet still you have fun at your own pace. Every gamer will find something they like in Saints Row 4. No gamer will enjoy everything it does have to offer, though. Sticking with that sense of false humility, let's give Saints Row 4 an A out of 10 stars. Andy Borkowski, VGS.